Hello everyone, I'm Penros776. I've recovered from a horrible disease and it's time for another banner reaction. I missed the last few, but you know what summer is like. Hot. And also full of generally very good units. This one's probably going to be no exception. As expected, there's Shez. Everyone expected Shez from the silhouettes. It's an interesting bikini. It's a bit weird, but no, yeah, Shez. A summer female Shez armed with a surfboard, which is apparently a sword. Sure, why not? And also on a horse, notably. A lot of the crazy swords we've been having recently are infantry units, but no, horse sword. Horde. I don't know where I'm going with that. Again, they release these banners at 4 AM. I've just got to work with what I've got here. Weapon is the Surfer's Spire. Enables Canto, Rem +1, grants speed +5, unit attacks twice, even if foe initiates combat, unit attacks twice. Deals damage equal to 20% of unit speed during combat, excluding area of effect specials. Very simple weapon, very similar to what Shez has been armed with before, but I mean it makes sense, right? If you're a horse sword, you're probably doing player phasey, Canto-y stuff, and what's better for that than being fast and brave and dealing loads of damage? Yeah. Special is Glimmer in the A slot. Swift Slice has come back. For those of you who don't remember what this does from Legendary Shez, if you initiate combat or within 2 spaces of an ally, +8 to all stats. And if you initiate combat against a non-dragon or non-beast infantry foe and you outspeed them by 20, you get effective against all weapon types. Or if they are a beast unit, a dragon unit, or a non-infantry unit, or some combination of the above, you've only got to outspeed them by 5 to be effective against all weapon types. So, just like Legendary Shez, this is a unit who is probably going to end up hitting very hard if you're winning that speed check, which against most things you probably will. Scary. In the B slot, lull 4, lull speed defense 4. So I guess this is what lull skills are going to look like in 2023. Inflict speed defense -X on foe, where X equals 4, plus the number of bonus effects active on foe, max 8, excludes stat bonuses, and neutralizes foes' bonuses to speed defense from skills like Fortify, Rally, etc. during combat. It's actually a relatively small upgrade to lull 3 skills. Lull 3 is speed defense -3 and neutralizes foes' bonuses. So depending on how many non-stat bonuses they have, like for instance the harmonic buffs you get from Duoaska, that sort of thing, you're getting 1 to 5 more points of speed defense minus on them, which is, to be fair, not nothing. It's not nothing at all. Like, a lot of people would give a lot of money for 5 points in 2 different stats. That's like a couple merges, right? But compared to some of the other upgrades we've seen from tier 3 skills to tier 4 skills, this one's, yeah, fairly minor. Still definitely a valid upgrade, though. In the C slot, attack defense menace. Yeah, it's a menace skill. I don't know if you really want to be running menace skills at the moment, seeing as we are in Legendary Robin's world, and Legendary Robin says, aha, you're debuffing me, big mistake. But, well, that is how it is. All in all, I see this being a pretty dang functional hidden run sword unit. Not quite the most functional hidden run sword unit, because you're missing out on the sheer movement capability and the ability to actually tank counterattacks that things like Brave Selith have, and also Brave Crom also has just way better movement. But in terms of just pure ridiculous damage, right? Your Brave hit with effective damage, that is pretty dang ridiculous. So definitely a spot for this if you're running into things that are just way too tough for your other hidden run calves to deal with. But you've got to solve the movement somehow. You've got Kanto, obviously, but you can figure it out. Very interesting. Let's keep going, shall we?
Time to ride that wave.
Oh hell yeah. That's what surfers do. Next up, that is Ephraim. He's got a funny fish. You see that?
My petty worries seem pretty meaningless when
In addition, I can't help but notice he doesn't have any nipples. Well, that's fine.
It's so bright out.
He's moving 4 spaces. Okay, maybe we're getting a good axe cav. Let's see, accelerate special trigger, cooldown count -1 at start of turn. If number of allies adjacent to unit is less than or equal to 2, grants unit can move 1 extra space to unit. That turn only, does not stack. At start of combat, unit's HP is greater than or equal to 25%. Inflicts attack defense -6 on foe, grants special cooldown charge +1 to unit per attack, and reduces damage from foe's first attack by 40% during combat. Okay, so another member of the 4-move cavalry club. Don't know if he's quite the strongest one. We'll have to see what his PRF-B slot is down there. But he's built for getting off specials, and that's pretty much it. Everything else he has is very much normal run-of-the-mill for weapons in 2023. Just slaying, special acceleration. What more could you want? And a bit of damage reduction and stats to help you hit harder and stay alive through their attacks. The A slot, attack, defense, clash 4. Clash 4 skills very good for stats, especially good for stats if you're moving 4 spaces, which this guy can in fact do. The B slot, Sunlight Bangle. If number of allies adjacent to unit is less than or equal to 1, inflicts attack defense -X on foe during combat, where X equals 4 plus the number of spaces from start position to end position of whoever initiated combat, max 8. Okay, so we're doing double clash here. Clash in the A slot, clash in the B slot. Unit attacks twice, and when unit deals damage to foe during combat, restores 7 HP to unit. Triggers even if 0 damage is dealt. But also, if unit initiates combat, foe can counter-attack before unit's first attack? Okay, that's silly. I can kind of see it, though. What do I mean I can kind of see it? Like, obviously, everyone vantaging him all the time is a kind of ridiculous downside. But here's the thing, right? If he's got great stats, he's got damage reduction on the first hit so he can tank it, and he's got a brave effect. He's also got special acceleration, +1 charge per attack. So here's how it works. You run in, you take an attack, you charge your special, you hit them, you charge your special, and then because you're brave, you get to hit them again, and that third hit should hopefully be your big old special turn. And if he's running around with just massive clash stats as well, I can see some real potential here. And in the C slot, alarm, attack, defense. All his other skills have revolved around not being adjacent to too many people, so may as well throw an alarm as well, just to synergize. At start of turn, if number of allies adjacent to unit is less than or equal to 2, runs attack defense +6 and Canto 1 to unit for 1 turn. And if number of allies adjacent to unit is less than or equal to 1, grants attack defense +3 to unit during combat. So basically, we've got this big old massive attack, massive defense unit running around, slamming into things, braving them, taking a hit back first because everything vantages him, but with his brave attacks, he's then healing 14 back up immediately afterwards. So, you know, there's definitely something here. Definitely something. And again, he's a member of the 4-move Cav gang. That's always going to be valuable. Very cool. Good one for Ephraim fans. I know Ephraim Dev hasn't been around recently, but no, maybe they brought him back. Let's keep going. Maybe he has some fun animations. There he is getting Vantage. Takes 0 damage and big hit back. Very fun. Third on the banner, as expected, Lara Shell, the Summer Princess.
Midsummer Princess of Peerless
Midsummer
Beauty
Princess.
has arrived in splendor.
God, I freaking love Lara Shell. She is a staff unit again, a staff flyer. Kind of similar to her young version, who was a staff horse. She has a new inheritable staff, Seaside Parasol Plus, at start of turn. Inflicts guard on nearest foes within 5 spaces of unit and foes within 2 spaces of those foes, equipped with a skill that can trigger the Savior effect. That's a kind of interesting condition. We've seen that before pretty recently. It was on Risen Crom. His assist applied a debuff with a penalty with the same sort of condition. Guard is a pretty good status to throw around. That being said, currently there are a lot of units that can throw around Guard very easily. So personally, I don't think this is necessarily the best penalty for them to put on this. Like, just to give some examples, I'm applying Guard with Arvel, I'm applying Guard with Hafer, plenty of other ways, like pretty much any staff unit can apply Guard, not at start of turn, but with the new staff specials as well. Basically, there's a lot of ways to get Guard, but just because it's something that we're doubling up on a lot recently doesn't mean it's got no value, because this can be your Guard applier, right? It doesn't have to be those other units. You can also run Lara Shell, or whoever you inherit Lara Shell's weapon onto. At start of combat, if unit's HP is greater than or equal to 25%, grants attack speed +5 to unit and inflicts res -X on foe during combat, where X is equal to the number of bonus and penalty effects on foe times 4, max 16, excludes stat bonuses and stat penalties. That's another nice thing about this staff. Unlike a lot of the other inheritable staffs, we're actually getting stats from it, real stats, and potentially up to -16 res on foe, which is actually pretty easy to stack up these days, because a lot of units are starting to care about it, and a lot of units apply multiple buffs or multiple penalties. I mean, just look at, well, to give a few examples, Mark applies 2 penalties at once, applies Stall, applies Sabotage, or on the flip side, something like Asker, Duo Asker, applies 2 buffs at once, both harmonic buffs, or your Catria, your Cordelia, they both apply Triangle Attack or Dual Strike, but also the Orders effect. So yeah, getting up to 4 of those effects on the foe is not particularly difficult. Legendary Robin is another one, Grand Strategy. That's only 1, but you're applying 1 with Guard as well, so you just need 2 more from somewhere. 2 more you can find almost anywhere. The assist is Recover, not that it really matters. Special, Earthwind Balm Plus, when healing an ally with a staff, grants speed defense +6 to all allies for 1 turn. I mean, the balm skills are not particularly common in general usage, but this is funny. It is funny. Why? Because Earthwind Balm wasn't in the game yet. There were so many other balms in the game, Earthwind was not one of them. So finally, if all your build was missing was this speed defense balm skill, finally, that's an option for you. In the A slot, Blade Session 3, which, okay, a couple things here. One hand, Blade Session isn't really the sort of skill you necessarily want to be running in the A slot. There are a lot better A slots out there. We're living in the future, as I've said. On the other hand, if you're looking at just getting your stuff from 4-star units, this is one of the few tier 3 skills that's able to apply up to +9 attack and speed at once. Admittedly, it is a pretty tight condition for it, but it's 9. Where else are you going to get 9 at tier 3, right? So that's some real value right there. And it means if you want to play Session as well, previously it was only on the Mirage Sessions units, I believe. Speaking of, when are we getting another Mirage Sessions banner? Yes, please. And the Beast Lot of Raffle Star free, which, I mean, you always want more Raffle Star, right? A ton of staff units. Admittedly, a lot of modern staff units that want Raffle Staff already come with Raffle Staff in their kit. But still, if you're building staff units just in general, it's the kind of fodder it's always helpful to have more copies of. So, very neat little 4-star unit there, and I'm sure a lot of the La Rochelle enjoyers in the world are going to be building her. What kind of effect does a Seaside Staff look like? Ooh, Trapping and Bubble, that's cute, but also surprisingly brutal if you think about it. And our duo unit, happy Pride Month, everyone. Heartbeats united, they're not even being subtle about it. It is, yeah, Joe Shamir.
Isn't this nice?
Oh, we see their stats as well, a lot of attack and speed, not much else. What does the weapon do? They are a bow cav armed with the partnership bow. Ah yes, a partnership. Such a good partnership they've got going on. Accelerate special trigger, cooldown count -1. Effect against flying foes, it's a bow. Star of Turn inflicts discord and panic on nearest foes within 5 spaces of unit and foes within 2 spaces of those foes. What is discord? Well, it keeps sending me notifications every day, but also it's a new penalty in the game. Let's see. Inflicts attack, speed, defense, res -X on unit during combat, where X is equal to 2, plus the number of allies within 2 spaces of unit, max 5, through its next action. Okay, so yeah, if it's naturally at a minimum a spectrum -2, it can go up to a spectrum -5 if they're near 3 allies. So a lot of the time it's going to be spectrum -3, -4, -5, somewhere in that area, just because generally you don't tend to find units with no allies within 2 spaces. Very, very cool. At the start of combat, if unit's HP is greater than or equal to 25%, grants attack, speed, defense, res +5 to unit and inflicts speed, defense -X on foe during combat, where X is equal to the number of bonus and penalty effects active on foe, ×4, maximum 16, excludes stat bonuses and stat penalties. Okay, another unit who can compete with the top speed tier, maybe. You know, Alia, yes, Alia is who I'm thinking of. Alia, one of the reasons she's so special for dealing with stuff like Lucia, stuff like, well, all the other god swords, is because the way you beat them is outspeeding them. But how can you outspeed them? Well, having a massive -speed in your PRF really helps. So here, for instance, a lot of god sword PRFs are just +5 to all stats. This effect, if you can fully charge it up, which hopefully you can fully charge it up, you're literally applying discord and panic already. You only need 2 more to get it at full power, right? You can get them from, as I said before, almost anywhere. You're applying, what? An easy -16 to speed and defense. Probably like -20 or so due to the discord effect kicking in as well. That's some serious speed business right there. Also, if any bonus or penalty is active on foe, neutralizes special cooldown charge -X effects on unit and effects that prevent units follow-up attacks during combat. So as well as all that, we get a defensive half tempo and a offensive 4 AM. Don't blame me. Offensive half tempo, offensive half NFU. That will get you very, very far. If you don't have a Godsword Shredder in your bags already, this might just be the unit to pick up for it. For the special, Deadeye is one of the best bow specials, honestly. People are gonna try and reduce damage at you. Just say no. Just say no. If you don't let them, they can't do it. The A slot, Remote Sparrow. If you initiates combat, attack speed +7 during combat and reduces damage from foes' first attack during combat by 30%. Alright, in the B slot, Brash Assault 4. I've said this before, I love it when they print tier 4 versions of skills that previously at tier 3 had not really been usable. Let's see what Brash Assault 4 does. Start of combat. If unit's HP is less than or equal to 99%, if unit has taken any damage when unit initiates combat, or if foe's HP is at 100% and unit initiates combat, inflicts defense res -4 on foe, reduces damage from foe's first attack by 30%, unit makes a guaranteed follow-up attack, and unit's next attack deals damage equal to total damage reduced. Resets at the end of combat, highest value only, does not stack. Okay, so finally the sort of hands type effect. Other people have it as well, but I think it's funniest to call it a hands type effect because hands is on a inheritable skill. Admittedly only on player phase, but still you're getting 30% damage reduction just from it. Condition is very easy to meet. 30% damage reduction here, another 30% from Remote Sparrow, so in practice that's 50% damage reduction. And then once you've reduced that damage, you get a hit them back that hard as well. Very, very fun. In addition, there's a guaranteed follow-up attack in there as well. Shamir here probably doesn't need that guaranteed follow-up attack because she is hopefully going to be faster than her opponent, and she also has offensive half NFU, almost certainly, but for other units who might be trying to inherit this, hey, guaranteed follow-up, very cool. And honestly, this kind of damage reduction is very important here as well, because even though she's probably outspeeding and she has NFU, her actual stats are not very tanky. She still needs to survive one hit back in order to get both of her hits off, and 50% damage reduction is gonna make that way more possible when you've only got 40 hit points to work with. Like, a lot of people out there can do 40 damage very easily. Doing 80 damage may be a little bit tougher. And if they're doing like just a little bit less than 80 damage, like 70 something, then suddenly you're running around with nearly 40 damage to swing back with for your second hit. Seems pretty strong. And in the C slot, we have Fatal Smoke 3. Interested to see that there's no Fatal Smoke 4 yet. They gave Panic Smoker Smoke 4, not Fatal Smoke yet. But, well, if you look at certain specific units, Fallen Byleth, they like to do this little thing called healing up a whole bunch after combat. Don't let them do that. Fatal Smoke them. Very fun indeed. I think this also works pretty well against Fallen Maria support, so if you're failing to get the kill through Fallen Maria, you can still Fatal Smoke them and leave them at 1 HP so that the next unit to come along gets them for sure. Basically, what I'm saying is, this is your anti-God Sword unit. They're even blue, right? They've even got Weapon Triangle in their favour. I think IS kind of knew exactly what they were doing. Yeah. Let's keep watching. Yep. halves that
That's really
damage,
fun.
and then big second attack. And of course they have a duo skill. What does it do? Inflicts gravity on foes in cardinal directions of unit, and feud on foes within 5 rows or 5 columns centered on unit. That's 2 more penalties to begin with, so with her skill she can fully activate her weapon by herself. Gravity is very handy for movement, and feud is one of the strongest skills in the game at the moment, honestly, given how many ridiculous support units there are out there. Just cut out those supports completely and let the unit themselves alone do the talking, and then smash them into tiny little bits. Very useful duo skill. Of course, since they're a duo unit, they can also activate stuff like duo's hindrance, so I think there's a lot of utility to be had here. What are you going to say about it?
Too hot. Baby.
A little bit of gentle ribbing. And yep, those sure were effects. And this red flyer is about to have a horrible time. Goodbye. 246. Well, that's that. Can we see a Tempest trial unit here? It's the other Shez. We should have expected this. We've got Shez on the banner. Why not 2 Shez, right? So, little final overview here. I think this is a pretty strong banner overall. Really, the only unit here I'm actually thinking of pulling here is Shamir, because Shamir fulfills a very needed purpose in the current meta game. But Shez, Ephraim, definitely not bad, and Lashel definitely has a lot going for her as a 4-star. I would not be upset with pulling any of them. That being said, personally, I'm going to hold out just a little while, because you know what comes right after the summer banner? The second summer banner. And this is IS's time of year where they really like to try and trick you into spending all your orbs so that they can then trick you into spending even more orbs. So I'm going to tread a little carefully. Not pull her right away. Let me know what you guys are thinking, though. Are you going to go for these units? How do you feel about the fact that it's another Free Houses banner when Engage still only has 1 banner? Come on. If we couldn't do Engage for first summer, how about Engage for second summer, IS? You know we want it. And, yeah. That's pretty much it from me. Thanks everyone for watching. Your likes and subscriptions are appreciated. Pen Rust out.